As we head into the explosive Friday, June 25th episode, the overarching theme is undeniable. People are being backed into inescapable corners. Let us start by looking at the absolute chaos brewing at the Metro Court pool. We know that Willow and Brooklyn are going to have a massive, fateful encounter by the water. On the surface, this might just look like another tense exchange between two women who have a long, complicated history of passive-aggressive behavior and outright hostility. Brooklyn is there with baby Phoebe, trying to project the image of a perfectly innocent, loving mother figure enjoying a sunny afternoon. Willow is already on edge, completely unaware of the massive invisible target painted on her back. But guys, something isn't adding up anymore. The sheer convenience of this meeting, the specific location right next to deep water, and the rapidly escalating tension, it all feels entirely too orchestrated. Brooklyn has been moving in the shadows, pulling strings with Lucy and Brick to completely destroy Willow's life. Why would she suddenly engage in a highly public face-to-face showdown unless she wanted an audience? That brings us to the most critical clue of the entire week, the moment that sparked this entire investigation. During this heated confrontation at the pool, things are going to get incredibly physical. We are looking at a scenario where Brooklyn ends up falling into the water and potentially losing consciousness. Now, the immediate assumption from anyone watching, and certainly from the shocked bystanders, will be that Willow finally snapped under the pressure. The public narrative will instantly become that Willow, driven mad by her recent troubles, lost her mind and physically assaulted Brooklyn, pushing her into the pool in a fit of uncontrollable rage. But we need to look much closer at Brooklyn's recent psychological behavior. She is a master manipulator who has been meticulously setting a lethal trap. A random accidental fall does not fit her current highly calculated modus operandi. It may not be a coincidence that this supposed terrible accident happens in such a public venue, right when Brooklyn desperately needs to solidify Willow's guilt in the eyes of the law. Let us connect the dots here and look at the bigger picture. We already know that Brooklyn has gone to extreme, highly illegal lengths to frame Willow for the horrific hit-and-run accident involving Jordan. She had the GPS in Willow's vehicle tampered with by Brick to place her right at the scene of the crime. But digital evidence can sometimes be challenged in court. A brilliant, seasoned lawyer like Alexis could potentially poke massive holes in a purely circumstantial, tech-based case. Brooklyn knows this. She knows that to truly put Willow away for a long time, she needs more than just tampered data. She needs a compelling, undeniable narrative about Willow's violent character. If this is true, it could explain exactly why Brooklyn is willing to risk a dangerous physical confrontation. She needs the entire town, and more importantly, the police department, to view Willow as a violent, unhinged threat to society who cannot control her impulses. By staging a fight and taking a theatrical dive into the pool, Brooklyn instantly transforms herself into a helpless, sympathetic victim and Willow into a dangerous, unpredictable predator. This perfectly supports the hit-and-run frame job. The police will look at the pool incident and think that it makes perfect sense that Willow ran down Jordan and fled the scene, given her violent outburst against Brooklyn in broad daylight. It is a ruthless, brilliant, and incredibly dark strategy to ensure that Willow has absolutely zero credibility left when she tries to defend herself against the vehicular assault charges. And look at how perfectly the legal trap is springing shut around Willow as a result of these intertwined events. Justine is already aggressively pursuing the case, showing zero leniency and a clear, undeniable bias against the accused. The police department is fully mobilized and ready to make an example out of someone. We know that Alexis is going to receive a desperate, frantic phone call from the station, likely from a completely panicked Willow, who suddenly finds herself facing not only hit-and-run charges, but now potentially aggravated assault or even attempted murder charges regarding the pool incident. Willow is walking blindly into a legal buzzsaw, and Brooklyn is the one safely controlling the power switch from a distance. Every single arrow is pointing directly at Willow, making her look like a one-woman crime wave that needs to be stopped immediately. But that's where things become interesting, and where we have to look at the supporting players in this massive drama. let us look at the people surrounding Brooklyn. Tracy, who is usually the absolute first person to go on the aggressive offensive and scorch the earth to win a battle, is suddenly taking a massive step back. Tracy is reportedly willing to yield and settle the current conflicts because protecting Brooklyn is her absolute #1 priority right now. Why is the ruthless Quartermain matriarch suddenly playing defense? Because Tracy is incredibly sharp. She likely senses, or outright knows, that Brooklyn is playing a highly dangerous, incredibly illegal game that could blow up in all of their faces and destroy the family reputation. Meanwhile, Chase is desperately trying to wrap up all the lingering drama and bring peace to his precinct and his home. Chase wants to be the good, law-abiding detective and the supportive husband, completely unaware of the monster sleeping next to him. Here is where we arrive at the big reveal theory, the massive secret that is going to change the entire trajectory of this storyline. I firmly believe that Brooklyn's dramatic fall into the pool is 100% intentional and premeditated. She is going to deliberately throw herself into that water and fake being unconscious to guarantee that Willow is arrested, denied bail, and locked away for good. Brooklyn thinks she has orchestrated the absolute perfect crime. She believes she has manipulated the digital evidence, manipulated the eyewitnesses at the pool, and manipulated her own husband's police department to do her dirty work for her. She thinks she is the ultimate, untouchable puppet master, safely pulling the strings from behind the scenes while Willow takes the devastating, life-ruining fall. This could explain a lot about the upcoming fallout, but it also highlights the massive, fatal flaw in Brooklyn's master plan. The trap is simply too perfect, and it relies entirely on one massive, arrogant assumption, that Chase will blindly accept the surface-level evidence without digging deeper. Brooklyn is actively using Chase's precinct to destroy his ex, but she is severely underestimating Chase's integrity and skill as a detective. If you ask me, Brooklyn's decision to stage this fake assault at the Metro Court is the exact mistake that will bring her entire empire crashing down around her. Chase is not just going to arrest Willow and throw away the key based on hearsay. Despite their complicated history, Chase is a thorough, relentless investigator who seeks the absolute truth, no matter where it leads. When Chase sees the mounting, seemingly insurmountable evidence against Willow, the tampered GPS logs, the hit and run accusations, and now this highly convenient, perfectly timed pool assault, his finely tuned detective instincts are going to scream that something is fundamentally wrong. In his quest to find the truth and ensure justice is actually served, Chase is going to do what any good cop would do. He is going to pull the security footage from the Metro Court pool area, and that is the exact moment everything changes forever. The cameras will not show Willow violently pushing Brooklyn. The high-definition cameras will show Brooklyn taking a calculated, theatrical dive into the water without being touched. Once Chase sees that his own wife faked a brutal assault, he is going to start pulling at every other thread, leading him straight to Brick, the tampered GPS, and the entire hit-and-run frame job. If this theory holds true, we have to look at the devastating, life-altering aftermath. Who loses everything in this scenario? Brooklyn. She is currently acting like the apex predator, the ultimate hunter, but she is about to become the hunted by her own devoted husband. When Chase discovers the terrifying depths of her deception, her cold manipulation, and her willingness to send an innocent woman to federal prison just to settle a petty grudge, their marriage will be instantly over. Brooklyn is risking her entire future, her relationship, her family standing, and her own freedom, all to satisfy her toxic vendetta against Willow. The boomerang effect of this master plan is going to hit Brooklyn with catastrophic, undeniable force, leaving her with absolutely nothing but the severe legal consequences of her own terrible actions. But guys, Willow is not entirely out of the woods either. While she might eventually be cleared of the hit and run and the fabricated pool assault, she is secretly harboring her own massive, highly dangerous secret that could ruin her life anyway. Willow is currently hiding Jen's highly dangerous, wanted fugitive inside her home. At the exact same time, Jordan is actively seeking help and carefully plotting her next moves to track down Jens and bring him to justice. Jordan has to tread very lightly because any wrong move could backfire terribly and get people killed. But think about the terrifying collision course here. If the police department is swarming Willow's life, investigating her for these fabricated crimes, the chances of them obtaining a warrant and accidentally discovering Jen's hiding in her home skyrocket exponentially. Willow might miraculously escape Brooklyn's trap only to fall directly into a federal harboring a fugitive charge that she cannot talk her way out of. There may be more to this story, because this intense theme of being backed into a dangerous corner extends far beyond the pool and the police station. Let us look at the incredible high-stakes parallel happening with Britt right now. Before the week concludes, Britt is going to find herself completely surrounded and out of options. Lulu is going to intercept Britt in Tortola, dragging her into a high-stakes, incredibly tense confrontation about her decision to flee Port Charles in the first place. Britt thought she was escaping the danger, slipping away into the shadows to protect herself and the people she loves, but she has only run headfirst into a different kind of inescapable trap. Lulu is fiercely demanding answers, and Britt is rapidly running out of places to hide and lies to tell. The tension on that island in Tortola is thick enough to cut with a knife, and Britt is going to have to make a split-second choice that could alter her fate and her freedom forever. At the exact same time, we have another explosive life-or-death standoff happening behind the dark walls of Windermere. Jocelyn is completely cornered by Cassius, who is operating under his fake identity, but unlike the others in Port Charles, she is absolutely refusing to back down or show fear. Cassius is desperately trying to enforce a strict plan to get Jocelyn and Liesel out of the compound before things go nuclear, but Jocelyn is fiercely pushing back against his authority. She knows the stakes are entirely too high to just run away. She knows that Ross is still out there, armed with the stolen cold fusion project that could put countless innocent lives in grave, immediate danger if it is unleashed. Jocelyn is bravely standing her ground in the face of immense, terrifying pressure, proving that sometimes when you are pushed into a dark corner, the only way out is to fight your way straight through the person blocking the exit. The bigger question is how all of these cornered, desperate individuals are going to react when the pressure reaches its absolute, undeniable boiling point. Britt is facing Lulu's relentless emotional interrogation in Tortola. Jocelyn is battling Cassius's deceptive control and the looming threat of Ross at Windermere. Willow is fighting a terrifying multi-front war against fabricated evidence, a biased legal system, and her own terrible, reckless decision to hide Jens from the authorities. And Brooklyn is unknowingly standing on the very trapdoor of her own gallows, waiting for Chase to finally pull the lever and expose her crimes. Everyone thinks they know exactly how this dangerous game is going to end, but the board is about to be flipped completely upside down, and the pieces are going to scatter everywhere. We may be looking at the beginning of something huge, a complete and total reset of the power dynamics in Port Charles. The truth could be closer than anyone realizes, hiding in erased security camera footage, hidden GPS data logs, and the desperate, unpredictable actions of cornered people who have nothing left to lose. The arrogant hunters are about to become the hunted, and the helpless victims are about to finally find their fangs. Someone may not be ready for what's coming next, and my bet is heavily on the people who think they have already won the war. Keep your eyes peeled, guys, because the fallout from these meticulously laid traps is going to be nothing short of legendary, and we will be right here to break down every single shocking second of it.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.